The Wii was, still is, and will always be such a charming console. Though so many people out there have great memories of classics like Wii Sports, Wii Fit, Mario Kart Wii. More than just a console, it is an entertainment device that aims to appeal to everyone in some way. It always attempted to make the most out of what it had, and this is no exception with its internet functions. During this generation of consoles, with the DS and the Wii, Nintendo was beginning to test the waters with internet support, to study how they could use it with a huge range of people and ages, and apply their own style of them. As you may know, the Wii had online support on hundreds of games, along with a repertoire of fun channels that took advantage of the internet. It is trivial that one would ask why you'd use the Wii's Focus channel, when you could just use the internet to find out what the weather's like. However, Nintendo's touch on the channels, the music, the sounds, the menus, all make it a much more appealing experience. Not only the weather and news, but fun polls, mini contests, trailers, all of this added up to the countless downloadable WiiWare and Virtual Console titles, and to the never-ending online play, made of the Wii a console so replayable that it is still very active to this day. However, there is much more to this little console's online functionality than most people know. It doesn't matter if you've had a Wii or not. It doesn't matter if you've used the internet on it or not. It doesn't matter if you've used many of its online services and are familiar with them or not. There are tons of little channels, many most people will recognize, many you might find interesting or bizarre, many absurdly rare and unknown, many that to this day we don't know what they were. What I am about to show you is the entire history of the Wii's internet connectivity, from the genesis of it all, passing through all the services and channels that kept being added, to its unstoppable demise, and the desire to experience it once again. This is a story I've wanted to tell for years, and with its best story being written as we speak, and the Wii's 15th anniversary, I think this is the time to do it. So, without any further delay, get comfortable as we launch into an exciting journey. So, to keep matters simple, let's understand the four major types of services that the Wii had. The first is Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, which supported the online of most games such as Mario Kart Wii, Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City, or Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It started on the Nintendo DS in 2005 with Mario Kart DS. It was promoted as being super simple to set up and get working, as well as being completely free. Not only it allowed you to play with friends near and far, some games also supported leaderboards, voice chat, and downloads of new extra content. The second is Wii Connect 24, which started as a Wii service that would take advantage of the Wii standby feature and keep it connected 24/7, with channels such as the Focus channel and News channel, but then moved on to other channels such as the Main Contest channel, the Everybody Votes channel, and the Nintendo channel, besides countless others. The idea was that many of these channels would display information in the Wii menu that would be obtained while the console is on standby, or while you're playing something else. Wii Connect 24 also had many other uses, such as sending and receiving mail to and from Wii fans, or receiving limited time Mario competitions. The other two are less important, the Wii Shop channel and the Nintendo Update tab. The Wii Shop channel was a service where you could try out demos and free channels, as well as purchasing Virtual Console and WiiWare titles. Although this service is still available, including its iconic theme, since January 2019 all titles have been removed except essential ones. The Nintendo Update server is a server that is also used by the DSi, the DS like Wii U, and is still running today. It is nothing too interesting, it's just a server that the Wii connects to when performing a connection test or updating your console for the internet. What we're going to be looking at for the rest of the video will be the first two, Nintendo Wi-Fi connection and Wii Connect 24. Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, or WFC for short, was extremely popular due to its simplicity. Playing on Nintendo WFC was stupidly simple. All you needed to do was connect your console to the internet and go online. Then pick a match, add a friend, or just go worldwide. It was so welcoming. Unlike the other services at the time, you didn't need to set up any sort of account or carry out any payment. If your friend and you had a game, then you could easily play with them no matter how far they were. Nintendo Wi-Fi connection was supported on the Wii by lots of titles. Some allowed actual real-time online play, others were limited to leaderboards, some even allowed for voice chat with the Wii Speak accessory. And the release of Mario Kart Wii skyrocketed its usage. From the very release of the game, Mario Kart Wii had a huge online player base, both for new players looking for casual fun and for people looking for competitive play. And also for people looking for this. It had a super high player base, very often higher than Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 after they released, and it just would not die. It had been so many years, and the Wii's Twilight was starting to become more visual, but the online play was seemingly unkillable, with so many players coming on it every day. But all greatness has an end. You see, Nintendo Wi-Fi connection was supported by GameSpy, which was owned by IGN and provided matchmaking and online play. However, when the company was bought, it was decided to shut GameSpy down, which meant the end of all the games that relied on it, including Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. This was announced by Nintendo in February 2014, 3 months in advance, so a lot of people began being curious about what would happen to all the games, its forever locked online menus, its active communities. Eventually, on the 31st of May 2014, Nintendo Wi-Fi connection was shut down, killing the online for all games that used it. Some games that had their own servers, such as Call of Duty World at War, were still playable. But now Nintendo WFC is dead. You can't play online anymore, that's it. What do we do now? This was a recurring question between players all over online Wii communities, but there was someone willing to answer it. In 2012, a German Mario Kart hacker named Wim was analyzing the network protocol of the game and dumping network packets with the intention of making an online cheater detection mechanism, as well as setting up his own server in fear of this event ever happening. When Nintendo announced the shutdown, him and another developer by the name of Lizarate began to quickly work on a project named WinFi that aimed to preserve the online for replacement server, make a homebrew app to connect to it instead of WFC, and dump millions of friend codes. Early May 2014, a few weeks before shutdown, a tester private beta was released. They tested full races, battles, friend codes and whatnot. And 11 days before the shutdown, WinFi was publicly released, which made it so there wasn't a single second of Mario Kart online being unplayable. WinFi was originally made just for Mario Kart, but by the time WFC was shut down, it already supported 17 games. New developments and improvements were made to WinFi over the years, making it even better than the original server, with new enhancements, moderation and security patches. As of today, it supports over 500 games and can be very easily used. Mario Kart also has a lot of players, averaging 300, having reached nearly 700 in several occasions, so why not join in the fun? Getting WinFi to run is safe and very easy. If you'd like to give it a try, check the description. The Wii Connect 24 channels were nothing too great on paper, but they were so much fun to use. They had amazing music, visuals, sounds, and just a great experience overall, despite some being for stuff like the wall dying. These channels were only usable on the original Wii and the Wii Family Edition because the Wii Mini and Wii U disabled the Wii Connect 24 functionality. Furthermore, likely due to legal issues, many country settings do not support Wii Connect 24, so you'd have to set your country to support one if you wanted to use it in those countries. Curiously, all of the American countries use the same license, so all of them work. But here in Europe, they had to make an agreement for each country in each language, kicking most countries out of the service. This led into the awkward situation where Netherlands, Antilles, or St. Vincent and the Grenadines could use Wii Connect 24, but Hungary, Russia, and Czechia couldn't. Hell, Israel and Ukraine aren't even on the country list that you have to go through when you first set up a Wii. Anyway, let's ignore this weird situation and take a look at each of them. I already discussed these channels on an old video about the Wii menu's history, so check it out if you'd like to see them in more detail. We should start with the ones that are present on the Wii since the first setup, that is, the Focus in News channel. The Focus channel allowed you to see the weather focus for your location and many others, as well as other locations in the world. As dull as this may sound, spinning the globe around and seeing the weather of all around the world with very calm music was somehow really enjoyable. The news channel displayed news headlines from the world listed in different categories. You could also see them on the globe to easily tell what's happening where. And Wii Friends and Wiimail was a service part of the Wii message board on your Wiimate that allowed you to register your friends on other Wiis and send them messages. If you left your Wii on standby, light would flash blue whenever you received a message. This flash is synchronized with the Japanese Bush Traveler call, which I found adorable. Now on to our channels you could download from the Wii Shop channel. The Mii Contest channel, known as Check Me Out channel in America, was likely the most fun and memorable of all of these channels. It allowed you to submit your own Mii characters, as well as seeing other people's. Makers would theme their Miis after celebrities, video game characters, memes, or anything really. Some were pretty impressive, so if you liked one, you could download it to your Mii channel. It also featured limited time contests with specific themes, so you could make a Mii for it, then it would be sent for judging. If people liked your Mii, then they could vote for it. The ones with the highest votes would get the highest places, so getting first place on one of these was an absolute feat. The Nintendo Channel was a service through which you could watch game trailers and exclusive videos, such as the Nintendo Week series, as well as send in game recommendations and reviews. Most notably were the options to download Nintendo DS demos through Download Play you could try anytime, and to see your total playtime on each Wii time. The Everybody Votes channel was an opinion poll service that featured several simple everyday questions with 2 possible selections. The user could answer them and predict which answer they reckoned would win. After a few days, the results of each question would be shown, which could be compared by region or by country, leaving a space for new questions. Users could also submit their own question ideas to Nintendo and possibly be featured. The Wii Speak channel was a voice chat service that used the Wii Speak microphone accessory. You could talk to Wii friends through the internet or send them brief Wii voice messages that they could listen to. While the quality of the microphone isn't particularly great, it was still a lot of fun. And finally, I don't know if this counts, but the Marika channel. This channel could be installed from the Marika Wii Game Disc and allowed you to see your fan roster and time trial leaderboards, as well as receive limited time competitions reconnected in full, all without needing to insert the game disc and check into the game itself. The service kept running and sending out competitions until the shutdown of Nintendo LFC. So these are the main channels that use this service. They had such a little personality that was really nice to look for every day. However, they were discontinued on the 28th of June 2013. And this is not marked where nobody was going to bring this back, it would be too hard and not many people would care. But since the shutdown, previously connected Wii started to feel a bit lifeless. Sure, WFC was preserved, but these channels were an important piece of the puzzle that is the Wii aesthetic. It was already very obvious that bringing these back was going to be super hard and tedious, if not impossible. No packet dumps, not many videos to base off of. It was very hard to think of something as big as Mii contests being brought back. Some years later, many more people started to look at these channels with nostalgia, some realizing how they never tried them but really wishing they had, making rips of their amazing music and rewatching the Wii Internet promo video for the millionth time. Seeing these channels work again is a very blurry and grim idea. Where would you even begin? Would anybody really care? It was March 2014. A user named Awesome Mario Fan was interested in trying to bring these channels back, but they had just got the news channel to work with an old batch of news. It took until August 2015 for 3 developers, Pokey Asa, Lawson B, and Awesome Mario Fan to begin working on a project to bring back WeConnect 24. In a few days they got a server to run which they named Custom Connect 24, later renamed to an astronomically better name, Reconnect 24. On June 2016, 3 years after the original shutdown, the team had managed to get the news and focus channels back. Eventually the team kept growing as they worked in the rest of the WeConnect 24 channels, as well as Wii Friends and Wii Mail. Lately the Mii Contest channel, which was a popular request, was brought back, featuring completely original contests. To this day there is much yet to be done, but I was really happy that this service had been brought back despite how wingless it may seem to the average person. It was just so impressive. Just like WinFi, feel free to try Reconnect 24 by yourself. Check the description. And so, that is it. The amazing communities of developers, fans, and dreamers had brought back themselves what was taken away from them. Thanks to everyone, Wii is as lively as it was in its heyday. But what if I told you there were even more internet channels than the ones that have been preserved? Allow me to introduce you to another set of channels that you likely didn't even know existed. What if I told you that there were Japan-exclusive WeConnect 24 channels? Channels that were not brought outside of Japan because it would be too expensive or unrealistic. However, these are still important WeConnect 24 channels, and many of them are so much better than the ones that released worldwide. Of course, the Japanese channels in no way could be brought back due to their obscurity, but they really need to be talked about more, so let's get to it. To begin, the most interesting channel by far is Wii Mama, which translates to English as Wii Room. This channel was big. Released in 2009, it was a video-on-demand service that featured many videos, adverts, and programs made exclusively to be viewed on it, and was presented in a very cozy room where a family of up to 8 Miis could be registered. You could rent films in the theater, see adverts for shops in the parade and rooms, and watch exclusive shows. You could also send messages to Wii friends and the room would change depending on the season and time. If you left the channel idle, the Miis would start doing things such as vacuuming or playing on the DSi, making the channel a joy to even just leave running in the background. In 2010, a major revamp was released for the channel, which changed the room and added the shop, where you could order goods such as the iconic Mii stamps. Overall, this channel is very comfy. It has a huge soundtrack with tons of super relaxing themes, and I don't know of anybody who would mind living here. The soundtrack has so many songs, all of them are so relaxing or exciting. Just listen to the theme that plays at midnight, it's simply beautiful. However, only 3 years later, on the 30th of April 2012, Lee Nama was taken down and discontinued, along with a goodbye presentation. The channel had been downloaded 4.49 million times and had 8.1 million users, but was short-lived and never released outside of Japan due to other VOD services such as Netflix or Hulu becoming very popular, and because it was allegedly too expensive. The Digikame Print channel was a channel for which Nintendo partnered with the company Fujifilm. With it, you could order prints of pictures from the photo channel, as well as other products such as photo albums and business cards, including the iconic Mii business card. You could customize them to your liking, pay by price, and have them sent to you. This channel was released in 2008 and discontinued in 2013 along with the rest of the channels.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for!
The Demae Channel, translated as Food Delivery Channel, was a partnership with Demae-can, a Japanese food delivery company. It released in 2009 and allowed you to pick from a list of different foods, followed by a restaurant, and then some extra options. You could also suggest new shops and services to be added. There is a video from user Tanashi Yakimoto that shows how ordering a pizza worked back when it released. It has English subtitles, so check the description if you'd like to see it. Something that is purely magical with the channel is, like Winoma, its soundtrack. It has a different theme for each type of food. I'm not kidding, and they are all so great and fun. But my favorite one has to be the confirmation theme. The channel even outlasted the 2013 discontinuation, when all the other channels were brought down and this one continued to be available. In fact, a Wii U version of it was released. However, both of these were discontinued forever on the 31st of March 2017. It's very bizarre to think that this channel still worked after the launch of the Nintendo Switch. There are many other channels, both Japanese and not, but are much minor. Perhaps we should talk about them in another video, but for now, that's it. These channels have very little information and are very obscure, being much more minor, restricted to our single country in a single language. But I think imagining using them and having fun with its menus, soundtrack and all, is something that transcends culture and language barriers. I remember finding out about these and gazing at how much cooler they were than many other worldwide ones. Anyone would love to see a revival of all of these, perhaps even a translation. It's been a very popular request the Reconnect 24 team to bring back Ninoma, but it is just too unrealistic. How would you even begin to bring this back? Something so obscure. But, dear viewer, I think we forgot something. It's the Wii community. Something as underrated as Wii Connect 24 has been brought back before. Did you really believe these people would be stopped by the obscurest channel? Allow me to tell you the best part of this story. Around late 2017, my friend and I found our old Japanese Wii. It was here when I found out about all of these channels. I began to find interest in them despite how little I could see of them due to all of them being dead. I found myself going online trying to figure out more about each of these channels, watching some old videos showcasing them. In 2019, Thomas Game Docs made a video about the Demai channel, which blew up. This casted a large interest on it as well as Wiinama. The Reconnect 24 team was constantly requested to bring these channels back, but it was just too unrealistic to make it happen. It would take until September 2020, where I figured out a way to get the Japanese focused and news channels to work with Reconnect 24, which are slightly different but far cooler. Although now it's fully supported, back then it took me quite a while to figure out how to get them to run. I uploaded a video showing my Japanese Wii menus to this channel, and seeing as others had interest on the Japanese Wiis too, I decided to archive as much as I could, so I uploaded several videos of the minimal, still accessible from them to my second channel. It was then when I got a comment from a user by the name of Dark Manda, who asked me if I had used Wiinama when it was still up, asking for a save file. I was curious about this, so we messaged each other. They told me there was a service working on reviving and translating Wiinama. At first, like almost any other, I was very uninterested. Clearly it had to be fake or a joke. However, here's my story. A group of people interested in Wiinama worked on a revival called Renoma, which eventually became Better Connect 24, later renamed to Wii Link 24. Originally, it had the intention of being an alternative for Reconnect 24, since they wanted to make a replacement server of their own, and while at that also revive the Japanese channels. It was around this time, October 2020, when I joined the project. I mentioned I could translate from Japanese and that I have a Japanese Wii, and one of the developers showed me the progress they had done on Wiinama. And my god, it was insane! They got into most of the menus, they got Nintendo channel videos working on it. However, it only worked on Dolphin because the channel was hard locked to Japanese consoles. I actually tried it on my Japanese console, but it didn't work either. I was made into a tester, and later a translator. Around this time, November 2020, they decided to stop trying to make a replacement server to all of Reconnect 24 and work exclusively on the Japanese channels. A somewhat functional but still unfinished English patch was made, and the DigiCamprint channel started to get development. I was absolutely curious how they were pulling this off, but apparently reverse engineering and a couple videos was all needed. More about the channels was being discovered merely just by working on its survival. In December 2020, we got completely custom videos running. and since until now only testers had access to the development, the first public beta was released. A load of region locked stuff removed, brand messages made to work, and a bunch of copyrighted videos got rid of. An early beta for Wii was out for anyone to use. Kinda. Back then, you had to install a specific save file which used the Mickey Mouse Me. And to make it work, you needed to install the Mickey Mouse Me to your Wii. This stupid me was the cause of my Wii's Me channel to break, and the channel just never worked again on my Wii, so I had to use my Wii U. I did eventually manage to fix the Me channel, but Wii didn't work. It just gave me an error that literally nobody in the team knew about. Our first release was an absolute mess, admittedly. But soon enough, version 2 was released, fixing a ton of issues, and removing the need for a save file on me altogether. Now it just worked straight out of the box. More stuff kept being added to the channel and it felt really lively. Version 3 was released, which improved a lot of stuff, fixed most crashes, and wait for it, it worked on my Wii again! And also, the Digicam print channel was translated and released too. From what I've seen, I think implementing the translation was more painful than reviving the channel altogether. Although you wouldn't be able to receive your orders physically, you can have them sent to your email. And that's pretty cool. But the My channel was always a popular request to be brought back. On the earliest prototype, we got into most menus and started working on a translation. And in May 2021, the unbelievable was pulled off. Sketch, one of the developers, had managed to hook up the My channel to the Domino's Pizza API, and successfully ordered a real-life pizza with the channel after so many years. As I'm making this video, the My channel is still really far from releasing to the public, since there are a lot of things that need to be worked on and figured out, how orders will be handled, how we'll make it work in each country, but hang in there. Frankly, I don't know if I showed accurately enough, but I still find it insane that I can just use all of these again nowadays. And of course, you can too, so give it a try if you're interested, check the description. Lots of Japanese people found out about the project and gave it a try. Many of them had tried the original channel when it was still running, so it must have been really nostalgic for them. And interestingly, something so magical about these channels is that they are somewhat nostalgic even to those who never tried them. And it is a fantastic feeling to try them again for everyone. With all the services that have been brought back, bringing a Wii back to life stronger than ever before is a piece of cake. But what else is there to work on? Well, there is the Kirby TV channel, an European exclusive channel that streamed free Kirby Right Back At Ya episodes that would cycle for some time. This channel lasted for a few months only in 2011, and then came back in 2012 for a rerun before being discontinued forever. Also, this channel was blocked out of Spain for some reason. I don't know why. What have we done to the South Kirby? But fret not. In July 2021, a new team named Stream Notebook worked on it and brought it back, and it can be used by anyone in any country, so feel free to give that a try too if you'd like. There's also Minna no Shiata Wii, a Japanese exclusive rented video-on-demand channel released by Fujisoft in 2009, discontinued in 2011. It's a pretty cool little channel which released this Weaver instead of a normal channel for some reason, featuring this little cute panda as a mascot. The Stream Network team may bring this back, but it hasn't been worked on as of the making of this video. We could also add channels such as Crunchyroll, Netflix, YouTube, the BBC iPlayer. All of these are now dead, but the Stream Network team is currently looking at YouTube. However, there are two more Japan exclusive channels I have not mentioned. 2 more channels that I left for the end because of how insane they are, and because of how much it would mean to me to see them brought back. There are 2 very obscure Japanese channels that I would like to talk about. Both of these are in the list of channels Whaling24 plans to bring back, but I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't see it. Perhaps you're watching this video in the far future and they're both back. I love that with all my heart, but I highly doubt it. Let's begin. The first is the Terebi no Tomo channel. This channel was an absurd simple thing. It's a very cool television guide with extra features such as adding me sensor programs, several filters, email alerts of programs before they happen, ratings, all with super calm music. Something that made this channel super special is its use of an unused Wii function that makes the Wii remote work as a TV remote. You could switch between the Wii and television just with a Wii remote, which was super handy. It was powered by the Japanese service G-Guide. In Europe we had this service as well, but it was named TV Guide Plus. In Japan, the service was discontinued in 2011 when Japan discontinued analog television in most of its main TV stations, months after what is commonly named the Great East Japan Earthquake and Tsunami of Tohoku. This was a very important moment in history, especially because it was done with a lot of style. Speaking personally here, this event is very nostalgic to me. Storybook's a ticket to Japan. No, I didn't make romance in it, but I wish. Well, I did visit Japan a few months before it. My friend was going to Japan the winter before, and I managed to watch analog TV while it was still running. Unfortunately, I never used the channel though. However, the discontinuation of analog TV came with the discontinuation of G-Guide, which came to the discontinuation of the... I hope you now understand why trying out this channel is so important for me. The main reasons it will be really hard, if possible at all, to bring back? Well, mainly, the channel does not seem to work on the Dolphin emulator. This alone makes development and reverse engineering absurdly hard. Second, it is possible that the way the channel works used analog signals which were directly retrieved by the G-Guide service. If this is the case, oof. And finally, even if possible, making it work with each country's television would be painful. But hey, one can dream, right? This channel is indeed being worked on by Whaling24, but not much progress, let's say. Still hoping though. And if you thought I was obscure, oh, just you wait. There's something even more obscure. This is the Wii Fit Body Check channel. Not the Wii Fit or Wii Fit Plus channel that you install from the game disc and allows you to do a body check even if you don't have the disc with you. The Wii Fit Body Check channel was released only in Japan somewhere in 2009. It was created in collaboration with NEC, Panasonic, and Hitachi. Perhaps even just for themselves. Let me explain. I'm not sure to this day what exactly this channel was for, but after spending hours and hours trying to research stuff, this is all I found. We are, as of writing, not too sure about what this channel is, how it worked, and how it would be used, but What we do know is that it would act as a bridge between the player and real-life health instructors. Yes, doctors looking at your funny weekend data, I'm dead serious. It seems like it would use your Wii Fit data, weight, and stats, along with the Nintendo DS game Walk With Me, and send it all to doctors and experts. You would be offered health and fitness advice, as well as answers to questions, while also providing medical professionals with useful research and starting data. I found most of this information in March 2021 on an article from a Spanish newspaper, so you can already imagine how hard it is to find out information for it at all. It seems like the channel would have mostly been used just with employees of those companies, but I have no clue, to be honest. After finding out all of this and documenting it, I rushed to find a file for the channel, installed it to my Japanese Wii, and launched it. And I was hit with an error code instantly. I don't think I set up Wii Connection for wrong, and I put my Japanese Wii Fit save data fine, so this is likely just the discontinuation error. Eventually, my friend Shoko, who made the Stream Network project I mentioned earlier, found this image detailing how the channel would work. This is the closest we are to knowing how it worked. I was wondering how hard would it be to bring this back. Meanwhile, I kept trying to launch the channel until it just worked. One of the many times. The channel is still partly running, looks like. However, I could not get past the section where it asks me to input an SD card, because all of mine do not seem to work. At first, I thought it would require an original SD card rather than a SDHC one, but this turned out not to be the case later. It was here when we started to look on the channel seriously, and by looking at the memory, we found out that the channel was looking for some sort of file on the SD card, and if it's not found, it gives an error saying that the card cannot be used. My theory from this is that to use the channel, you would be physically given a specific SD card to use and a Wii Shop channel download code. 7 months later, and we haven't really made much more progress. Wii Fit Plus is probably my favorite game. If I can get anything new from it, you can bet I will try my hardest to. However, it looks like there really isn't past this. Even then, there's almost no information on this channel. I do believe it would be very helpful to just know more about it. Something I ask myself after all of this is, where would you get the channel? You need a special SD card you would be given to be able to use it, so it can't just be out publicly on the Wii Shop. Again, my theory is they give you a download code for it, similarly to the Wii Stick channel. But that poses the question of how the hell we got our hands on it. So, I talked to Larson, one of the devs of Reconnect 24, who was the one who got the file with the Wii Fit Body Check channel that I had installed on my Wii, and asked him how had he found it. He told me that he discovered it through a hidden page on the Wii Shop channel when it was still up, which likely proves my theory correct, that it was indeed a download code that would be given to the users. I'm sure we will find more information about this channel in the future, making this video stupidly obsolete, but it'll be a while until then. This is, without any doubt, the rarest and most obscure Japanese Reconnect 24 channel. And that, combined with Wii Fit having a special place in my heart, is why I'd love to see it back as well. But unlike before, this time I am serious. After the making of this video, this is all we have. Frankly, this is a journey many of us never knew we needed. I am endlessly thankful to all of my friends, to the WinFi and Reconnect 24 teams, to everyone from the Wheeling 24 community, to everyone who has ever displayed interest in this topic, among many others. Also thankful to you for watching all of this. I hope all of this effort of bringing services back will last and grow forever, and bring Nintendo's Wii U to the homes of everyone in this and future generations. Maybe you didn't know about all of this and are eager to try it all out, and many people who have watched this will be excited dusting the old Wii out. Maybe we'll see Nintendo re-release some Wii games with online support to the modern generation, and we'll witness a massive community of casual and competitive play fully respawned. Maybe we will see Tarebi no Tomo on the Wi-Fi Party Check channel fully operational one day, and we'll even get bored of it. But so far, I can only dream, and I think you should too. Happy 15th anniversary, and thanks for watching!